So I just finished recording our Bruiser Tifa video, which I thought was very interesting. Of course, we didn't fight all top tier teams, but it was competitive enough that we could see the potential of having a more tanky build on those Tifa and to be units. This time we're running the duo as a typical Evasion duo. And you might be thinking, if he's running the typical Evasion build, why the hell does this guy's to be have Golem? I did not level Chimera, nor do I have Resonance with Chimera for my to be, so I'm doing what I can here. So that's the answer. Otherwise, I mean, we're going to do the usual, so I'm going to show you the loadout and then go in game. So quickly, the loadout to be is there so that she eventually uses luck up on both herself and Tifa. Otherwise, she's got okay tankiness. She'll probably go down in 2 hits. If she goes down in 1, I'll be pretty sad. We have Blade Soul, and then to make sure we actually catch up to Tifa, who's going to run forward immediately, we have Resistance Field. That is because our to be has less agility than Tifa does, so Tifa will move forward and we'll need the Resistance Field to catch up to her. Then on our second turn, we'll be able to use the Luel TMR for extra luck if we're not already hitting the enemy team. Tifa, 6200 HP, a bit more attack than we used to have in the Bruiser build, but a lot less defense. She's still in a good range where she could take 2 to 3 hits depending on who's attacking her though, so that's not all terrible. In terms of passives, I could switch out Holy Knight's Protection for Shikuchi. That would increase my luck and thus my evasion, but I feel like the extra HP and defense is still better. You guys can argue about this in the comments if you'd like. If you've made some calculations and I'm wrong, please let me know. I would be very interested to hear that. In the meantime though, she's there with a Sage's Hat, the usual build, and Tetrasulfid for some more evasion. Now I don't think she'll be as evady as to be still, because 374 luck is a lot less than 439, so her base evasion is a lot lower. She also doesn't have the same passives, but you know what, we'll see. That's part of the reason why I think she is better off as a bruiser than as an evasion unit in a lot of matchups, but we'll see how that goes. In order to make up for the lack of evasion, we will try to use the V-Clan Mask Inherited Bewitching Art. That gives us a massive boost to evasion for 3 turns, so for a short while we will be very hard to hit, and then once that wears out, all hell's breaking loose. So Niblu has all her sniper abilities enabled, and then as a Time Mage, the only enabled abilities are Haste and Quicken. So we really just want her to do that. Go in, increase evasion, then start hasting people, and when she can, drop the Limit Burst, decrease the enemy team's defense, or remove their buffs, or break their barriers, depending on which one is the best. She's there as a ranged support. I could be using somebody like Frederika. She would probably provide a bit more damage, but the utility that Niblu has is something no other character has, and I do think she is the best suited character for this combo. So let's go in game. So this one seems like a really rough matchup. King Mont is usually pretty accurate, Cloud has a couple guaranteed hits in his kit, and they have an accuracy up vision card right there. But let's see how it goes. If they're not using Triple Slash or Sharpshoot, they could potentially get a couple misses in. One issue that we have is this is another really big map, which means the evasion buff we cast on the early turns will not last for the entire fight. It'll probably take 2 turns before we meet the enemy team, so all we'll have the evasion up buff for is like the initial clash, where teams will collide with each other. Let's see how that goes. So Soldier's Hunter on Cloud and King Mont. King Mont has Bell, so he'll be ready to drop his Limit Burst anytime he wants. And then we use Resistance Field on Nivlu, so we're not that close to Tifa just yet. I do think there is a major issue with the way our AI works in this map, because now that this happened, Tifa's going to run so far ahead that she's never going to get the other buff from to be. Let's see what happens though. So Punisher mode, I guess that's fine. King Mont is finally getting in range, uses Fang of Leonis and hits. So his first attack is a hit. That is with the evasion up buff. Resistance Field on Tifa is going to make her a little bit more tanky, but I don't think it'll make a big difference against these guys. Takes a second hit immediately, and now Cloud's about to go. So goodbye Tifa. Did not dodge a single hit. Now she is stacked for evasion. She's only level 15 though. That could be a pretty big difference. To be doesn't dodge either. We use Impaler, almost one-shot Cloud. Charlotte generates a little bit of hate, but Nivlu is going to hit her with a slow arrow, and then it's over. Cloud uses another powerful attack and finishes the fight. Evasion team does not work nearly as well for us so far. So I want to walk you guys through why selecting Evasion teams in Arena could be a tough choice. This enemy team, well, they have luck up cards, so they are going to have quite a bit of accuracy. This one, same thing, luck up and a guaranteed hit in the form of Somewhere Else's Limit Break. In this one, they have guaranteed hit from Cloud and accuracy up buff from 9S. And this one, guaranteed hit from her, guaranteed hit from him, and very high accuracy on King Mont. That's the one we just did. Next team, guaranteed hit Cloud, guaranteed hit here, and luck up. This one, luck up, and generally pretty accurate, guaranteed hit with Cloud. Same thing, luck up right here. In this team, they have Black Witch, guaranteed hit, and etc. So no matter what I do, like, these are all teams that are going to be tough to fight for an Evasion team. I just want to point that out. Right now there's so many units with good accuracy that Evasion is not a very strong archetype to run in general unless you're backing it with some sort of tankiness, and you can still take a couple hits before going down. With that said, after looking at all my opponents available, I think this one is the best, so we'll use this one. We did make a couple changes to our early game, so hopefully we get our better early turns. I don't think the previous start was terrible, but we never got the time magic from Niflu, which made it a lot worse than somebody like Frederika. And then I tried switching the Wells TMR onto Tifa, hoping that it would make a difference in how many buffs we get, because clearly we're not dodging enough right now, because we die before the enemy team does. If we get more evasion up buffs, that might help. I don't know. So we have Inherited Tyranny on these two, Resistance Field on these two, and then Tifa should use the luck up. So there we go. Now we have all the evasion we can possibly get on Tifa. Is it going to be enough? I don't know. I guess we'll see. So the enemy Gilgamesh has Hazard Form. Now, of course, we're fighting Gilgamesh. We have 2 wind units. That could be a bit of an issue. And the enemy team does not seem to want to close into ours. So that could definitely be bad. We use Revitalize, I like that one, then Unparalleled Strength, but we only have 2 more turns on Tifa in terms of her evasion up buffs, so we really need to meet the enemy team as soon as possible. I do think we won't though, so that will definitely be an issue. Fred goes on to attack Gilgamesh and lands the Disable. That will give us a pretty good edge. We have Iron Body Stance, so Tibi's gonna be a bit more tanky, and then our Tifa attacks first. What kind of damage will we do with the Somersault combo? That probably won't be a one-shot kill. It is. So, see, that was a squishy enemy Tifa. About as squishy as ours is with that current build. Enemy to be generates a barrier, but they're in line for a double shot from Fred, finishes off Gilgamesh before he can do anything. And then we use Impaler and miss the enemy to be. Definitely not what we wanted, but we have courage, we are ready to go. We're gonna basic attack her, miss her again, and I'm expecting her to kill Frederika in a single hit. There we go. That's as expected. What will our to-be do? She has full AP and impales the enemy with pretty good damage, followed by Tifa doing nothing because her attack pattern did not allow her to do anything there. That was pretty bad. We took a good hit, then misses again. Gosh, is the enemy to be going to win the fight by herself? Nope, because she misses us one more time, then procs a perfect evade. This is an evasion fest. How is this girl so evadey? I guess she doesn't know either, because she goes down. What a weird fight. Alright, let's go for this one. I don't think it's a good matchup. They have 2 people with guaranteed hits and an accuracy up buff, but as I've pointed out earlier, it's super hard to find an enemy team that doesn't have that in today's meta. So let's just go in. We did another small tweak to our AI. Now Frederika is in between To-Be and Tifa in terms of agility, which hopefully will get us the evasion up buff on every single member. Let's see if that happens. Pretty sure it will. Pretty sure we finally have the early turns we wanted. There we go. So it took a bit of testing, but now we have the good start. We have our buff for 3 turns on Tifa. Enemy Duane uses Revitalize and starts rushing on the side, so they will split a little bit. But since they have similar kind of movement, I think they will all arrive at the same time in the middle, which will definitely mean a lot of damage taken by our guys. Let's see what happens. So we have Resistance Field renewed. The enemy Black Witch has extra accuracy, so that is definitely going to be painful. And then I should probably turn on Aimed Fire from Frederika, because that Vigilance is definitely not a good turn too. Duane uses Dark Mental, increases his own tankiness. He is ready to stay in front forever. And we don't have anything to help our Tifa survive, so she might just go down to the enemy Black Witch right now. Bells, oh, never mind. 2 of our guys might actually go down to the enemy Black Witch right now. But apparently we dodged 1, so you know what, that's not terrible. We then barrage these guys, but that's really low overall damage. And then Armor Crusher crushes Frederika. She is down, but we still have our evasion buff for a short while. Move for a somersault combo on Duane. That could actually be a kill. Duane does not do well with these kind of attacks. There we go, strike attack was enough to get him down, but then we're grouped for the triple slash, which takes away a significant portion of our HP. Shifting strike takes away the enemy cloud, but then we're grouped into a Black Rose's Hex, which I believe hits both and finishes our team. So there we go. Black Witch did not really miss much on our evasion team, and we were stacked with a bunch of buffs there. Alright, then finally, I guess we have this team. I think one edge we could have is if Frederika decides to use her barrage repeatedly, because she will have higher damage potential, but then she might miss a couple hits, and that would definitely help us. This is also a very interesting Cloud team. He has the Death Machine Vision card for extra AoE resistance, and has it generally just an AoE resist team, which is something I was theory crafting. You could technically get Cloud to like 65% AoE resist, and then he just won't care about AoE attacks, even if he's sitting next to your tank. Not sure that's what's going to happen this time, but definitely a build that has some potential. And then unfortunately, somehow Tifa decided to do things a little bit differently, so she does not benefit from the bewitching art this time. Only evasion up on our Tifa. I guess that just puts Tifa and Tifa even, because the difference in evasion between these 2 units is pretty high overall. Tifa is nowhere near as evady as Tifa gets. So this time Fred gets the hit, but yeah, Barrage on Charlotte does not really do anything except waste some AP. Then Somersault combo. I wish it counted as that many hits to build a chain, but unfortunately it's actually a single hit for 2000 damage, which is overall pretty weak. She chooses to sharpshoot, but that's not a lot of damage. If that was our tanky build, Tifa, she would have taken something like 1500 there, which would have been ridiculously low. So Charlotte is stunned for her first turn, doesn't play. Frederika has enough AP to keep sharpshooting, and I guess her hit chance isn't that high because she chooses not to use anything else. Now Tifa finishes off, nope, does not finish off Charlotte. Our damage was too low. And then these enemy teams apparently don't have, yeah, it probably would have been better for the enemy team to have a Ranger Cloud, because he would have been able to use Barrage right there. But instead, we get Sharpshoot to death, and we finally end up losing someone. At that point, Fred keeps going, starts sharpshooting another unit, and triple slash guaranteed hit. Nope. Perfect evade, that is going to go over the triple slash. So I guess we live one more turn due to extreme luck, long enough to one-shot the enemy Cloud. Now, what about the enemy Frederika? She's used, I believe, all 4 of her sharpshoots, so she has to start doing something different. Chooses the barrage, and unfortunately for us, lands the hit. At that point, our Fred has a much weaker build than the enemy's Fred. They are all VC'd up for lightning teams, whereas we just have like standard stuff. Plus, they get reflex, and they still have a ton of AP. I don't think we're gonna win the fight, but let's see. Maybe if we get the lucky reflex back. So we grab the crystal and choose not to even attack because AI is dumb at some point. We take another hit, hit back. I'm not too sure what's happening, but apparently we win 2 turns. That was a weird fight, but yeah, again, we did not evade a lot of hits. So that was it, guys. Did this go as well as the Bruiser build? Definitely not. Now, if you haven't watched the Bruiser build video, I recommend you go watch it. The link is in the description below. But yeah, in a meta like this one, there's so many units with guaranteed hits, accuracy up VC, accuracy up gear, that I feel like running in with your evasion team and praying for success is not necessarily the way to go. Sure, if you do find the one team out of 100 that doesn't have one of those tools, go ahead. Your evasion team is going to completely destroy them. But in a lot of matchups, it's just not enough to carry, and I believe you're better served with the Bruiser version. I thought so, tested it on screen, and that's really where we're getting. So that was it from me. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, learned a thing or two, and is going to help you in your future matches. If you've enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and as per usual, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.